The other side wants it to be harder for you to get your music on all streaming platforms. I want it to be easier.
DistroKid knows what the world needs because DistroKid has been in this fight for years.
Listen, I've been there. I know how hard it is when you're a new musician and you're trying to find an audience. And that's why I know how to fight.
DistroKid understands you and your needs and will represent the working musician.
I know your currency. It's followers. And I promise that I can get you the followers you deserve. Those followers become listeners, which leads to actual currency in your pockets.
DistroKid doesn't represent the special interests.
My opponents want you to think that it's hard to upload your music to all streaming platforms. I'm here to tell you that it is easy.
Your family can rely on DistroKid.
Look, I get it. It's hard to split revenue on your co-writes. But with DistroKid, say it with me, it's not hard.
Elect DistroKid as your music distribution service.
I believe in you, and that's why if you vote for me, sign up for DistroKid, I'll give you 7% off your purchase.
DistroKid, values, music, Main Street.
I'm with DistroKid, and I approve this message.
Follow the link in the description to join the cause.
All right, so we're going to learn this in standard tuning, but the original recording is just a bit flat to standard tuning, but that's the tuning that it's closest to. So you can use your ear maybe to tune it to the recording later, but it'll be easiest to do it in standard tuning right now. We're going to start with the open E. Lots of palm muting on everything. Now on that recording, I believe there's phaser on that original part, but you know, it's chugging along. Then you've got this riff. And so it's built off of the 12th fret right there, which is E, you know, and we're going to do two little times of the 12 to 15 on the E. Then we're going to do 12 on the A to 15 on the E, and two of those. You put those two things together. Then we're going to use our middle finger on the 13th fret, back to the 15 on the E. Then 12 on the A to 15. So that little pattern. All together now. Then we grab that middle finger on the 13 and we hammer it to 14. Followed by the 12 on the D. So on the last one, you do into this little phrase. And so we're pulling off from 13 to 12 on the A. It's the blues scale. 15, 12, slide down from the top. Now we go into the deep chug main riff, and it's basically that same riff, but now in the octave lower open position, a couple little adjustments. We have our hand in this classic, kind of E power chord position. You know, but we're going to start with 0303, which my friends out there know. We got 03s, 5s in the house. So 0303. Then an A power chord. And by the way, these are all palm muted. Lots of palm. Lots of meat. So 0303 A G A G. And so you've got the A power chord to the G note, which is that third fret. So all together. Then 1 on the A to 3. And then open A to 3. Just like, we were doing here an octave up. And then hammer from 1 to 2. Open D. Then finally you get to the, just like we did here, we do it here now, 1030. Okay, then we go into the open E chugs, which I guess we could call the verse. Oh, come on! Which is pretty clever because there's definitely some they're a Texas band, heavy metal, and they definitely sneak some little Texas blues, ZZ Top, and Stevie Ray Vaughan stuff in there, and I hadn't appreciated that as much as when I started digging into this again. Okay, so we have, and so what's going on there is we're chugging on the E. And you could put your finger there like the E power chord, but it's mostly that E string, but it doesn't hurt to kind of have your hand in that like heavy metal open position. Yeah. So you go da 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 da. And so that's an open A, and then you hammer on the 1 2. And then the open D. Then it does 2. Okay, then it does a new lick, which is what I'm referencing the Stevie Ray Vaughan a little bit. That. That's a classic SRV Texas blues thing, so I really like that, but they're going. So it's a open A, quick hammer on pull off on that first fret. And I'm using my pinky, you could use your ring or pinky, and we're doing dut-dut on that third fret E string, that G note. Like that. So. So the second time, it plays the same way. Instead of 3-3, it goes 3-1. So we got that. The next one. comes in, they do that. They spread that out more, so it's like so then it goes. Like that. You know, and then it also. So you've got that last lick I taught you, right? So this is what we could call the pre-chorus. It quickly from the newest lick, it goes up to a G power chord. So da 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 da, G sharp. It's a half step up. So it goes back to G. 6, 5, 4 power chords. Back to the open E chugging. And then that. So 1, 0, 3, 0, which we did here. We also did. Right? So that's the little tag when it goes back to the main riff. So let's go, you got the verses. Six, 5, 4, chug. And then with a break. Main riff. Goes through that whole thing again. Then you, the form, these are most of the licks you need for the song itself, right? The main riff, that intro, the verses, the pre-chorus, the chorus is the main riff. So that whole form repeats, which is great because we've gone over it all. But then it goes to some Cowboys from. So that'd be power chord on 3, 2, 1 into the chords of the solo section, which is going to be an E. We'll do E power chord. Then we can do a C. Then we do an A chord, but we put what's called the third in the bass. I call this the Hendrix major chord. But, all the legends used it. But anyway, that would be like thinking of an A, but then 4th fret on the A string. Then you can put your pinky up while you're still barring that and play like a C, piece of a C shape. But it's all part of the thing moving up. So that's 5th fret, that's 4th fret, and then 2nd fret on the G. So then the chords of the solo starts with hits 3, 2, 1, from the chorus previous. So then we're going to do an E power chord followed by a C. then an A, but we're going to put the 4th fret of the A string in the bass. So you could call that A over C sharp. And then pinky goes up and ring can go right here. And index is hitting that 2nd fret G. Then you've got 6, 5, 4, but there's these little harmonies underneath if you want. And I'm adding that 5th fret A with it. All right, we've got this final part here. So we're in this little box. So we've got the pull off from 7 to 5 on the A string. Pull off and then the chug chug on the E. And so finally you do a pull off. And we're going to pinch harmonic on the 5th fret of that D string. Then a pinch harmonic on the 7th fret of the D. So chugga, chugga, boom. So it's a little bit of a rhythmic. And so we're going to pull off on the 14 to 12 on the G to 14 on the D. And then 12 slides back a half step. Middle finger on 12 of D. So that slides down a whole step now to 9. Ring finger hits 11 of the D. Slide down a whole step, ring finger hits the 9 of the D. Then a half step slide. And then, so that's on the 6, and then 7th fret D. Then you go back. And so then that's just the exact same thing as we did here, up an octave. So that's 17 to 15 on the high E to 17 on the B. And then that's a half step. Then a whole step. Whole step. Half step. right, hope you guys enjoyed the lesson. Thanks again for hanging out. Feel free to request stuff in the comments below, and while you're down there, I appreciate you liking and subscribing here to Marty Music. Thanks again. Hope to see you guys later.